I still remember everything so clearly. When it happened, it just didn't sink in. It wasn't possible she'd gone. I was just expecting Mum to walk through the door again. She couldn't be dead. I didn't know what to say. It was just impossible to describe the feelings I had. Every time I stopped to think, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Things seemed to start returning to normal, but it just wasn't the same. It all felt very surreal, and that we were all just putting on a brave face.
I wondered what the point of going back to school was. I almost felt like another person. So much had changed so quickly. What was I going to tell people? Some of my friends were really good. Some assumed I was okay from how I acted. Others I lost simply because they didn't know what to say or do. I couldn't see the point of being there. Everything seemed so trivial. I couldn't focus, and there was a huge resentment towards all my teachers. Why were they bothering me when I have a million other things to worry about?
My name's Amber. I was 17 when my dad died, and I went to college 2 weeks later.
My dad died just after I turned 15, and I went to school the next day.
My name's Lydia, and my mum died when I was 16, and because she died on Christmas Eve, I went back to school normal time after the holidays, and because of that, most people didn't really know what had happened, the teachers included.
It was really horrible. My teacher completely singled me out in front of an entire class, and the teachers have the power to make you feel amazing in front of the class or to make you feel small and insignificant, and she made me feel really insignificant.
We were put in contact with child bereavement before the death. We were in contact with a counsellor, and it was a big network almost, and that was really good.
Actually, my head of year was really good, came to the funeral, and so from the start she really wanted to be involved so she could help as much as possible.
She was really, really supportive for the first couple of months, and then it was like she'd had enough, and my actions weren't suitable anymore for college.
In my experience, teachers did well, helpful.
I acted completely different from my brother because whereas Ethan was more quiet, I was much more angry. And a lot of teachers didn't understand how I was reacting differently to Ethan. They thought it was just a behaviour thing rather than a reaction to bereavement.
For the time being I was okay because, well, I say okay, I suppose I was still in kind of a numb state, and so I didn't really know what to do or really how to react.
My attendance with college was really, really bad. She thought I was basically abusing her being nice to me or whatever, and she was really rude to me in the end of it.
I felt like nothing mattered anymore, like everything seemed really trivial, and all of my work just didn't really matter to me anymore. There were teachers who did know, and one of them was extremely sympathetic. She gave me coursework deadline extensions, and that really helped me. Because she was nice to me, I wanted to be nice to her back.
I was just expected to buckle up and kind of get on with it.
I think loads of teachers have a certain time period set in their mind, and if you're not okay by that time period, then you're abusing it, and that is it.
You get the feeling that teachers think that when you're bereaved, it's the same for everyone. They didn't really realise the different things that happen in the house. You know, it's not only a bereavement. Suddenly your mum's crying. So you're hearing your mum cry, you're trying to get over your dad's death, and then you're trying to get your family to school. So by the time you get to school, you've got a million other things.
And I think especially young teachers might be a little bit scared, and I really think there's nothing to be scared of. If you think this is just a really kind of vulnerable young person, all you need to do is just be there to listen to them.
Teachers really need to know that everybody is going to deal with it in their own way. They may not necessarily know how they're going to do it at first, so you mustn't expect them to.
In this circumstance, nobody would abuse it, to be honest. I think everyone handles everything completely differently.
I think it's important to remember it doesn't stop after what I noticed was a year. It was a year that they expected you to be better, and it's like a year I'm still trying to catch up with my feelings.
I really didn't show how I was feeling on the outside, and the teachers who really knew me should really have twigged that.
They also need to know that just because we're smiling doesn't mean we're happy. I have a face that I put on every day for school, and it's quite a bubbly face. It's kind of me, but it's not how I'm feeling generally. Just because you see that every day at school doesn't mean that's how things actually are.